Okay, good morning, fifth grade. Make sure you're sitting up nice and tall. Hands are still either folded like normal in your lap by your side, but they should not be moving. It's looking excellent. Sarai, let's figure out our hands. Next screen. Oh, perfect. All right, first screen is looking the sharpest right now. Anasia's on the first screen. Kareem's on the first screen, ready to go. Today in math, we are going to continue working on volume. Just like yesterday, we are going to work on volume as additive. What do I mean when I say that volume can be additive, Jaslene?
What do you mean when you say that volume can be additive? It's like when you mean that you could split up the rectangle, the prism, to like get different equations, and then you could add it up to get, like, if the prism is like a weird shape, or it's like weird, you could split up the shape, and then you could use different equations to solve.
Mariama from Brian, Justine, and Rashida all have +5 for evaluating. Keenan and Rivka +5 for evaluating. Randy and Phoebe +5 for evaluating. Make sure you're evaluating everything your peers are saying. Jasleen is exactly right. When I say that volume is additive, what I mean is that you can calculate the volume of different parts of a shape, and then you can work to put them together to figure out the total volume. So today we're going to just do a little bit more practice with this, and then we're going to jump into our breakout rooms to get independent practice on our own. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. And we are going to get started. We're actually going to skip the review today. And we're going to jump right into we do number 1. We do number 1 says find the volume of the solid. And so I see this really strange shape. It's definitely not a rectangular prism. And I'm noticing that there's a lot of different heights, widths, and lengths. And then I've got this box over here of Prism A and Prism B. Now I know that since it's not a normal shape, that means that right away I'm going to have to split it into 2 different prisms. Who thinks they can describe to me how I should split it up? Strong sign of hands, either with the raise your hand feature or by raising your hand in front of the screen. How should I split up this prism? Jaden Calhoun, go ahead and unmute yourself and tell me how to split it up. Hold on, sorry, you're kind of fuzzy, Jaden. Make sure you sit up tall, make sure headphones are either all the way in or all the way out. Okay, I'm sorry, Jaden, we're still having a little bit of trouble. Why don't you go ahead and mute yourself right now, and we'll try it again in a minute. Who else has an idea? Ezrali, go ahead and unmute yourself.
You should split this finger up. You should split
Okay, hold on just a second. Mrs. Kroll, are you also having trouble hearing them? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Okay, all right, let's try somebody else. I'm not sure if it's you guys or Zoom. So go ahead and try.
So I think we should split it by, you see the bottom rectangle?
Mm-hmm.
Like
when you say the rectangle? Bottom, do you mean like this part right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, yeah, that's how we should split it, and then so that there's 2 rectangular prisms.
Great.
One at the top and one at the bottom.
Okay, great. So today we're going to have like an orangey red prism, and we're going to have a blue prism. Okay, great. So now that I've split it up, what is the next thing that I need to do? Let's see. Strong, silent hands. Daniel, what's the next thing that I need to do?
The next thing you need to do is that you have to find the length and width of Prism A.
Just the length and width?
The length and width and height.
Great. Okay, so I'm going to make blue Prism A. You can unmute yourself. Thank you very much. So I'm going to make blue Prism A. So I'm looking for the length first. The length right here is going to be 5 centimeters. You can see it very clearly. It's already labeled for me. And then the width, interesting. Okay, so my width right here and right here doesn't have a label. So I'm going to have to try and think, okay, how could I find the width? I noticed that the tip of this prism is at the same width as the other prism, the orange prism, and the orange prism has a label of 8 centimeters. So since this width is the same as this width down here, I know that it must be that 8 centimeters. And then I've got to figure out the height. Oh, it looks like right here, my height is actually labeled as 5 centimeters. Okay, so now I have the length, width, and height of prism A. And now I'm going to figure out the length, width, and height for prism B. All right, Keenan, what is the length of prism B? I can't hear you, but you can show me on your fingers, Keenan. Great, it's 7. Very good, Keenan, good job. So 7 is the length right here. Now I'm looking for the width of prism B. I'm gonna scroll through. Actually, everybody show me on your fingers. What's the width of prism B? Okay, Allison counting it out. Isaiah, you're supposed to be showing me on your fingers. I'll make it a little bigger for you guys. What is the width of prism B? Rayon's got it. The width of prism B is 8. I can see it right here. Remember, I said it was the same as prism A. And then the last thing I need to do is figure out the height. The height is labeled as 2 centimeters. So now that I've got the length, width, and height of both prism A and prism B, all I've got to do is multiply it out. 5 times 8 times 5. 7 times 8 times 2. And then I'm just going to add those together to give me my volume. I want everyone to go ahead and solve this on a sheet of paper. Go. Going to give you about 2 minutes. You need to be working urgently, solving for volume on a sheet of paper. What is the volume of this prism? Or the solid. It's not really a prism. Let's take about 30 more seconds. Everyone should have their answer. Okay, Lasana, do you have an answer? Thumbs up, thumbs down? Okay, keep working. 30 more seconds. We all need an answer before we move on. Okay, Lasana, do you have your answer now? Great. Lasana, go ahead and unmute yourself and share the answer. Oh, I've unmuted you. Go ahead. Share the answer. Everyone else is evaluating.
Oh my gosh, 312.
Okay, everybody else is evaluating. Oh, I see a lot of evaluation. Amadou, you sort of agree? Or you disagree? You disagree. Okay. Randy, why do you sort of agree?
I sort of agree with Lasana because he didn't add centimeters cube because if we just put 312, it will be flat, not cube.
Okay, that's exactly right. So Lasana +5 for getting the correct answer, and Randy +5 for making sure that we have that right unit. The correct answer is 312 centimeters cubed. All right, everybody go ahead and do number 2 on your own. Practice splitting it into 2 different prisms. You can do it on your paper, however you need to, and we are going to come back and check in just a moment. All right, we're going to do a quick check-in. Bella, how did you split this prism up?
I split it up into half, and for Prism A, the length was 8.
Wait,
the
don't
width-
tell us that yet. Can you just
Oh.
describe to me, like, did you split it at where it connects?
Yeah, where it connects.
Okay, great. So kind of like this?
Yeah.
Perfect. Or did you do it the other way? Is that you could have done it to right here. Did you do it to right here?
Oh yeah, like right there.
Right there. So this would be a part of the other one. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, make sure you either split it the way I had it originally or like Bella, and then keep working. Go. Okay, it's not the greatest picture in the world, but you could either split it up like the way Bella did it, or you could split it up like this picture here. Either one is fine, but you need to split it up into 2 prisms. Okay, if you did it like Bella did it, these should be your numbers. Prism A is 5, 2, and 2. Prism B is 9, 3, and 2. Let's go ahead and wrap it up by solving. Okay, who can tell me the volume of Prism A? the volume of prism A. Let's go with, Sarai, sit up, please. Oh, you're working. Okay, keep working. I just wanted to make sure. The volume of prism A. Derwin, do you have the volume of prism A? Great. What is it?
I think it is 32.
Okay. Did you do was your prism A 5, 2, and 2? What were the dimensions of your prism A?
8, 2, and 2.
8, 2, and 2. Okay, great. And 32 is perfect. All right. And then if you're, let's see, and then what was prism B? First tell me the dimensions and then tell me what your answer was, Michael.
7, length of 7, width of 3, and height of 2. I got 42.
Great. When you added your two numbers together, what was your total volume?
74.
Excellent. The correct answer is 74. I did slightly different dimensions than them. I did it kind of like Bella did it. So my volume was going to be 20 of prism A and 54 of prism B. When I add them together, I get 74. What, Michael?
74 cubic meters.
Cubic meters. Very good. And that's my answer. Okay, so our big takeaway today, just like yesterday. Give me just a second. Our big takeaway today, just like yesterday, is that you want to make sure when you have an object that does not fit as a normal rectangular prism, that you are splitting it up into a few different prisms, and then you are calculating the volume of each and adding them together. Rayon, the correct answer is 74 cubic meters. All right, so now we're going to jump into our breakout rooms, and we're going to get a chance to practice this on our own. If you're not getting sent to a breakout room, it is because you were not on time for homework check today. Please make sure you're on time every single day. Some of you were, but it looks like you left. Jasmine, you might have got logged out.
Blue balls are in the fitness room.
Okay, give me just a second. Okay, so before we move on to independent practice, I just want us to all check, we do number 2 together. So show me agree or disagree if you got 74 meters cubed. Amadou, check, show me agree or disagree. Thank you. Krista, cannot see your face. Jesus, need to see your face. Can I see your face today? Mariama cannot see your face. Krista, prop it up and make it stay that way. I don't want to see your ceiling again. Jesus, chat me if your camera isn't working today. Okay, do you have a different device than normal? Great, okay, so then it looks like we need to walk through it. Okay, so let's redo this problem. I'm gonna share our screen with us. Everybody can stop showing me. So Jesus, your camera was working yesterday. I'm going to try something. See if you can accept that. Is there some other reason you can't show me on your camera? Like the computer won't work? Okay. Try to accept that and just see what happens. Okay. All right, that's okay. Just listen closely. Can you see me, Jesus? Okay, great. All right, so all right, give me just a second. Okay, everyone, please try to stay logged in. I understand some of us are having technology problems, but if you're getting up to go somewhere, please do not log out of Zoom. That kicks you out and then you cannot come back in. Okay, so there are two different ways to break up this shape. So I'm going to put my screen on and show you guys those two different ways. So the first way is like this way up here at the top. Okay, so that is when I did the first prism, went all the way back to here. And those dimensions were the dimensions that I have listed. The other way to do it is right here. That's when the blue goes all the way across and the red does not go as far back. If I did it this way, I would get my length, which is 8 right here. My height, which is 2 and 2 right here. And that would be Prism A. Raise your, or give me a thumbs up if you got 8 times 2 times 2 for Prism A. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Did you get Prism A, 8 times 2 times 2? Great, so go Krista. So then for Prism B, I would have to do this small part right here and here and here. So I know the length is 3. The height is 2, but then the whole width is 9. But I can't use 9 because I already used part of it right here. So instead, I need to take the 9 that I have on the whole side, and I need to subtract the 2 that is right here. So then that would give me 7. And then I add the 2 together. Remember that whichever way you are doing it, you have to make sure, sorry, I didn't realize you guys couldn't see that. You have to make sure that you aren't using just what's written there. You're thinking through, does this actually match? Because if I have a 9 written for this whole side, but I'm only doing the red part, then it's not going to be 9 for the red part. Make sure that you are subtracting it out. Let's try another one. I think this will help us with some practice. Okay, so it says, John created a small set of stairs for his mouse. What is the volume of the set of stairs? How do you want me to break this up, Mariama?
I think you should break this up is by, you should like split it like straight across, like straight across.
You mean like straight here?
No, like
So then be
over.
more specific.
You You have to like kind of like split it, the line like in between the stairs.
Okay, so like you're saying, like where the stair goes up, that's where I need to split it, right here.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So everybody, I want you to do your best to draw a picture of this. Actually, no, you don't have to. You can just watch me. I changed my mind. But it's really, really important that you understand the practice of splitting it up. So now I have my 2 different prisms. We're going to make red prism A. Just put a dot right here so I remember. And B will be blue. Okay, so now I have to figure out the length, the width, and the height of each one of these. Excuse me. So let's start with prism A. What do we know for sure? What do we know must be the, let's see. What dimensions do we know? Haley, give me a dimension we know for the red prism.
2 times 2 times 1.
No, that's not correct. What is one dimension we know, Haley? So right here, this is a 1. Okay, so that is a dimension we know. Is that length, width, or height?
Height.
Height. Very good. So I'm going to put it right here. What is another dimension we know for sure? What is another dimension that we know? Lasana?
The width,
Which is?
2.
How did you know?
Cause like the where the red part is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
exactly. The width is 2. Great. Does it give us the length anywhere? Evaluate. I need to see everyone's hand in front of the screen evaluating. Does it give us the length anywhere? Jesus, you can type if you would like. Not right now, Ryan. Where? Kareem?
The 2. The other 2.
The other 2. Well, that's really interesting because I know that length is what goes across. Just because I see a 2 here, that doesn't make it the length. Great, it's there. Does that go with these lines across? Evaluate. Does the 2 over here go with these lines across? No, it does not. Thank you for evaluating. Great job. Brandon, I need to see your fist in front of your screen. Krista, you should be back by now, and I should see your fist in front of your screen. The length is what goes across. Jesus, do you know what the length is? You can chat it to me if you know what it is. Everybody else should be thinking about what the length is, where we could find it. Remember, you can use part of the blue if you need to. Jesus, keep thinking. Brandon, do you know what the length is? Great, share it with us.
The length is 8 because first the bottom one says, wait. No,
What's the length, Brandon? Is it hard to see? Let me make it a little bigger.
the same amount on my screen.
Okay, so the length, oh wait, Jesus is chatting me. Let's see what he thinks. Oh, he's saying 8. Okay, it's not 8, Jesus. No, it's not 7 either. Guys, it's very simple. So all you have to do is you have to find an equivalent part. So even though there is no length right here, the stairs are the same width all the way down. Are there any parts that make the blue bigger or wider? Are there any parts that make the blue wider? Greg, talk to me.
On the other
Stop
side,
guessing. Hold on, freeze. Everyone needs to stop guessing in the chat. Unless I ask you a question, do not write anything in the chat. The chat is for Jesus because he cannot talk out loud. Go ahead, Greg.
on the other side, there's a there's a side that's the same size as the 4 meters on the other side, and there's also like
Wait, Greg, freeze. We're talking about length, guys. This is length. This part right here. So how long it is. Is the blue prism the same length as the red prism? Agree or disagree? Okay, so you are all incorrect. Fold your hands, put it down, and put your eyes on the screen. Now, the red prism is long. This is length. How I'm moving my fingers, that is length. So if this is the length, and we jump down to the blue prism, does the length change anywhere? As I'm going down the stairs, does the stairs suddenly get longer across? Agree or disagree? No, it does not get longer. It stays the same length. It is the same length the entire time. Kareem, you need to be evaluating. So if it stays the same length the entire time, where could I get my length from? Haley?
The blue parts, we could see that it's 3.
Great. If the length of the red prism and the length of the blue prism are the same, then I can get the length of the blue prism. And Haley just told us the length of the blue prism is 3. If the length is the same, I can get it from the other prism. Now let's jump on to Prism B. So as I'm looking at Prism B, I need to be thinking first about the length. Good news, we just figured out the length of Prism B was 3, excuse me. Does anyone know what the width of Prism B is? Jesus, you could chat if you would like. Ryan, what's the width of Prism B?
The width of Prism Beat is 4.
It is 4. Okay, that's how wide it is here. So it is 4. Does anyone know what the height of Prism B is? Amadou, talk us through what you're thinking right now.
what I'm thinking is that since for Prism 1 Prism A we had to go to Prism B for the blue part to find the width. I'm thinking that since you said it ain't changed the going down, I might as well think that the height might be 1 too.
Okay, that's an interesting way of thinking about it. So first of all, let's just look. Do we see a number with this height? Agree or disagree? Okay, do we see a number here with this height? Agree or disagree? Ryan, check, evaluate. No, Ryan, there's no number here. Do you see a number here? This should be a basic question. Wake up and pay attention. Do we see a height right here? Is there a number here? Krista, check, fix your screen. Okay, do we see a height? Krista, get in the screen. Turn it where I can see you. Do we see a number right here? Agree or disagree? No, there's no heights listed. So instead, I have to think through what numbers I have. Even though I don't have a number for this part right here, I do have a number for this entire height of both the red and blue prisms. What's the height of both prisms put together? Krista. The height of both prisms put together is what?
Both prisms put together will be they would both be.
Krista, check. I've pointed at it multiple times. You need to be looking at your screen when I'm teaching. Mariama, what's the height of both prisms put together?
I think the height of both prisms, it might be 2.
No, it's not. It might be. The number is right there. You are responsible as an online learner for putting your eyes on the screen and interpreting what I'm asking you, same as in the classroom. The height is 2. I've pointed to it multiple times. So now that we know what the height of both prisms is, we can think about the height of prism A. If I know the height of both prisms is 2, and the height of prism A is 1, how could I figure out prism B? Kareem?
Um, if prism A is 1, the prism B is supposed to be 2.
No, Kareem. If both prisms are 2 and prism A is 1, how do I figure out prism B? Kareem, stay on unmute. You are not getting off the hook on this.
1,
How did you know?
because it has the same height.
We don't know that it has the same height. Nothing tells us it has the same height. It could, but we don't know that. Haley, how did you know? Or what did you know and how did you know? Kareem, I'm coming back to you and you have to explain it.
How I know was that we would have to do 2 minus 1, and then we get 1.
Right. It's the same as if we were calculating like anything else. We've calculated, for example, plant growth before this same way. If we know the total is 2, and we know that one of them is 1, and I'm trying to figure out the rest of it. Sorry, I didn't realize you couldn't see that. So if I know the total is 2, part of it is 1, and I'm trying to figure out the rest of it, then Kareem, how would I figure it out?
I don't think 2 minus 1.
Great, you just have to subtract it. So if you have the total of something, like up here when I have the total height, and I want to make sure that I'm figuring out the height of one of them, I just subtract the other one. So it is 1. A lot of us are just, I want to make sure that you're hearing me, so put your eyes on the screen right now. A lot of us are just picking random numbers that are written beside of the prism. That is not good enough. When we are splitting it into different prisms, the numbers may not be right there for us. You have to think about what is logical to calculate the dimensions before you can solve for volume. We're going to go back with our whole group and we're going to work at it together some more. Okay, scholars, welcome back. All right, so one of the biggest misconceptions that we had in my group that I want to address is that a lot of us are just writing down random numbers. Teachers, if we can stop for just a second. A lot of us are writing down random numbers that are not working with the teachers. Please stop. I'm recording this. So a lot of us are writing down random numbers with the volume that do not match the actual dimensions of the prism. I understand that this is a little bit tricky because you're having to do some calculations in order to match the dimensions, but it's very, very important that you calculate the dimensions by actually looking through and thinking about what makes sense. Just because a number is written beside something, that doesn't mean it's the dimension of the new prism you've created. We're going to keep practicing this a little bit later. Right now, what I want us to do is we're going to go ahead and jump into our first break of the day. As always, some of us are logging out, and we do not need to log out. Instead, you can simply